If you change the time and force setting in your active trader window from day to extended, congratulations, you can now trade pre-market and after hours in ThinkorSwim. Charles Schwab, the brokerage behind ThinkorSwim, allows trading to begin at 7 a.m. Eastern. That's 2.5 hours before market open. Also, after market close, you can trade until 8 p.m. That is 4 hours after market close. This is called extended trading hours. Now, if you're serious about growing an account rapidly, you need to be paying attention to these times because this is when the most volatile moves in the stock market happen. As you can see here on ticker SINT, this morning, it is currently 7:18 in the morning. The stock is up 41% just in the last 4 5-minute candles. There's a couple more settings you need to change other than just the time and force that I already mentioned. So we'll go over that so that you know exactly how to execute trades in pre-market and in after hours. Also later in the video, I will go over this extended hour strategy that you can see running on this chart behind me here so that you have a tool to take on these trading hours as well. So with your active trader modal open here on the right side of your screen, let's go ahead and hop into the settings cog of this modal. From here is where you will adjust the settings to properly trade the extended hours timeframes. First off, you may not see this TIF, which of course stands for time in force. I don't believe that's actually there by default, so you'll need to look up a button, type in TIF, double click to add it to your current working set. You may also need to expand your second line of buttons here as well to see this pop up. And remember, if you are trading either pre-market or after hours, this time and force needs to be set to extended. Remember, once the market opens and during normal market hours, you will need to change this back today. So there's something you will need to keep up with throughout your trading day. What is your time and force currently set to? Now let's hop back into the settings cog because we need to talk about the execution rules of extended hours trading. During extended hours trading, meaning both pre-market and after hours, market orders are not allowed. The market's not open. You can't place a to-market order. So we need to remove our buy market and sell market. They're not going to do us any good in extended hours trading. And instead, we need to put buttons on for limit orders. So I'm going to add something like, say I want to buy the bid and I want to sell the ask. I'm going to add these two buttons to my current set, and then I'm going to grab and drag them up to the top so that they appear in the same place. As I hit OK here, notice how my buttons will of course change from buy market and sell market to now buy bid and sell ask. So now we are executing using limit orders, and we must do that in order to have our trades go through in extended hours trading sessions. Just a little quick side note before we continue on. This stock is flying. My strategy is in at $4.88, and the stock is currently breaking $7, up 44% already in this position. This is exactly why I'm teaching you all how to trade during these hours. Going back to only being able to execute limit orders in extended hours trading, let's talk about stop losses, because a lot of people will avoid extended hours trading because, oh, I can't set my stop loss. I can't set my market stop order, so it's too risky. You can still set stop losses using limit orders. So what ends up happening when you place a stop loss, either from the active trader window, or if I were to just hit sell here, if I was in an open position, that would create a market stop order, meaning if the price trades, or if the price of the stock, should I say, trades below my stop price, I will market fill and get out of that trade wherever the market order fills me. But you can right click on your chart here, and instead of just hitting sell, you can go to sell custom and you can set up a stop limit order. What that's going to do is it's going to give you a price in which your limit order will trigger and give you a price down to which you want to be filled to. Now, if you put these very tight together, say I want to get stopped out if this trade drops below 625 and I set my fill order to 624, it is possible that you get skipped because it'll trigger and then fill as much as it can of your position. But then if it's already below 624, you will stop being filled. So yes, stop limit orders are a little riskier than stop market orders, but they're still very possible. And if you give it enough of a range, like start filling at 625 and allow fill down to like 575, you're way less likely to get skipped in that scenario, right? So it's all about how you set them up as well. I just wanted to let you all know that this was indeed possible. And honestly, that's it. It's that easy. As long as you have your time and force set to extended and you are placing limit orders, you can trade extended hours. And you can do it today. You can go do it right now as you're watching this video, because there are a lot of brokerages. I know I have a Fidelity account as well. And with Fidelity, for example, I had to like sign something saying I understood the risks of trading extended hours, but I don't believe, and I just looked it up and it looks like this is true. With Charles Schwab, I don't remember having to do anything like that. And I don't think you have to. I don't even think you have to go sign anything or change anything in the settings of your brokerage account. Nothing like that. You should be able to just right now go change your time and force to extended, go place limit orders, and trade during extended hours trading sessions. We're about to go over the extended hours trading strategy that you have been seeing that is up over 40%. I just want to let you know first that if you are interested in this sort of codified trading, my website, daytradingstrategies.net, has over 150 plus ThinkorSwim codes that I have published. This ranges from strategies to studies to stock scanners to custom scan columns, conditional orders, etc., etc. It's really your one-stop shop for the beginning of your system trading journey. You can click on unlock 150 plus codes now. I do have my service set up as a subscription service because, as you could hopefully tell from the home screen here, if I go back, I am always adding new codes to the website. You typically get multiple new codes a week. So obviously, as long as you remain subscribed, you continue to get access to everything new that I add. You can either sign up for the monthly or the annual. Obviously, the annual plan will save you a little bit of money over your next 12 months of access to every code I will add to this website. But more importantly, it gives you lifetime access to this Discord server. This Discord server currently consists of, actually, have we passed 500? Wait, I didn't even notice. We just passed over 500 members in this Discord server. That's a lot of people that have signed up for the annual plan. That's a lot of eyes on the market, especially, and I haven't talked about this yet, but if you're trading pre-market, if you're trading after hours, you really need to know about the moves as soon as they happen. You all got to see an example of how volatile these moves are. You need to know as soon as they start moving. And a Discord channel like this, a Discord server like this, should I say, is just a great place to do that. Over 500 eyes on the market. Basically, as soon as anything starts moving, almost especially so in pre-market and after hours, that is when we are in this server talking the most, it will be alerted in here. You can see as I scroll here, a lot of people talking about a lot of stocks that have been moving over the past couple of days. So this is just a great added resource if you are interested in extended hours trading. Anyway, let me stop ranting. If you are interested in either codified trading or access to that Discord server, head on over to daytradingstrategies.net. I'll link it in the description down below. For now, let's go talk about the rules of that extended hours trading strategy. Firstly, we are looking at a 5-minute chart. That is the time frame that I trade this strategy on, of course, meaning that each one of these candles represents 5 minutes of time. Now, the entrance condition for this strategy is extremely simple. Look, listen, I always try to make my strategies, both the entrance and exit conditions, as simple as possible. I find those to be the strategies that translate best from back testing to live trading. Anyway, the entrance condition for this strategy is simply buy the close of a candle that gets a bullish reaction to news. As you can see here at 7 a.m. this morning, as soon as you're allowed to begin trading in Charles Schwab, this company announced news. SINTX Technologies publishes landmark study demonstrating blah, 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 blah. So they announced good material news at 7 a.m. The stock got a heavy volume bullish reaction. So the strategy entered the close of that candle. Now, pre-market and after hours are the best times to trade if your goal is to rapidly grow an account, because during these times, almost exclusively is when companies will announce material news like this. They very, very rarely will do it during market hours. And both during pre-market and after hours, once again, almost exclusively, not always, but very typically, companies announce news at both the top and bottom of the hour. So being 7 a.m., like this ticker, 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, etc., and same for after hours. I refer to these as scheduled volatility events. And having scheduled volatility like this is just amazing, once again, if your goal is to rapidly grow an account, because you can go keep an eye on your scanners, keep an eye on the Discord at the top and bottom of the hour, immediately see what's moving, and immediately enter in a strategy like this if you find this strategy to meet your trading goals. I say all that, well, first off, because it's important to know, but second off, to go over how I coded this strategy. Because in ThinkorSwim, in ThinkScript, which is ThinkorSwim's custom coding language, you can't actually reference news. Like this strategy, the code itself, should I say, isn't saying, hey, this company has news and a bullish reaction, so let's go buy the stock. Instead, what it's doing is at the top and bottom of the hours, it is checking for a heavy bullish spike in volume. This almost always means that the company just announced news, right? And so if at the top or bottom of the hour, there is a heavy spike in bullish volume, that is when the strategy is entering. And I say all that because this is going to give some false positives, right? There are going to be times where stocks just happen to get heavy volume at top and bottom of the hour. So you need to have this live news modal turned on, which you can from the sidebar here. If you have your sidebar menu open, you can turn on and off this live news modal. And you need to check yourself as soon as you see a stock come up either on a scanner or someone talk about it in the Discord. You need to go say, hey, does this thing have news? Obviously, in the terms of this ticker, SINT this morning, yes, it does have news, so the strategy is valid. So there's a small little subjective check you need to do yourself alongside the actual coded strategy as well. So now you understand the simple entrance condition, and you see that the stock is on a little bit of a pullback now, yet the strategy has not yet exited. So let's go over the two exit conditions. First, of course, being the stop loss condition. That is very important to have, especially so when you're trading heavy volatile names like this. You need to have a good stop loss plan, which of course this strategy does. And let's go over our profit lock exit condition. Let's cover the profit lock first, as that is what will happen barring a massive red candle. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but barring something crazy, this trade is going to make money. So let's go over what we're looking for there. If we are green in the position, so obviously if the current price is above our entrance price, obviously true in this trade, then we will sell the first candle to close below the lowest low point out of the last 5 candles. So looking at the current candle, let's take the previous 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, the lowest low point in those 5 candles is this low here on this candle at $5.98. So if we close below $5.98, we will exit the trade and lock in our profit. Now, the stop loss is a very similar price action setup, except for rather than looking for a candle to close below the lowest low of the last 5, if we are red in the position. Obviously, if the stock is trading below our entrance price, we will sell the first candle to close below the low of the previous candle. So if we're green in a position, we give the stock a little bit more room. We give it a little bit more leeway to pull back. Hey, lowest of the previous 5. If we're red, we don't give it as much leeway. If a candle closes below the low of previous candle, like for example, and obviously it didn't exit here because we're not red in the position, but here you got a stock, you got a candle, should I say, that closed below the low of the previous candle at 664. This candle closes at around 628. So that would have been the exit condition. Once again, obviously, if we were red in the position. There is currently about 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this candle, and we are now trading down below the lowest low of the previous 5. Once again, it needs to close down here. It needs to close below this level. So let's see if that happens and we go ahead and lock in the profit in this trade. The candle closes now in 5 seconds and it's trading right at this level. I actually don't think it's going to, it's very close. Close now. Okay, it did. It must have just by a penny closed below the low of this candle. Let's see. The exact low of this candle, $5.98. Yeah, the close of this candle, $5, or sorry, the low of this candle, $5.99. The close of this candle, $5.98. So by 1 penny we did, and we went ahead and locked in profits on this trade from entrance to exit. We made 22%. Actually, not like a trade that lights the world on fire for pre-market and after hours trades. I'll show you some better winning examples, but a great little live example to follow this morning while going over both how to trade in pre-market and this strategy itself. I mean, you made 22.5% in 45 minutes. Yes, you didn't like set the world ablaze 22.5%, but that's still, I mean, I think a lot of times day traders get too hung up in like chasing glory and not thinking of the bigger picture. If my investment account even made half of that, if my investment account made 11% in a year, I would be happy. That'd be a pretty damn good year for my investing account. You just made 22% in 45 minutes. And we're sitting here talking about like, oh, it could have been better. It could have been. That's great. That's a crazy trade. And it's still 7:50 in the morning. The market doesn't open for another hour and 40 minutes. Still very early. You can take a trade like this before you take your kids to school, before you head off to work, whatever it is, be done trading, lock in your profit for the day, and go get off the computer, enjoy the rest of your day. You know what I mean? Let's take a quick look at a trade example to explain why we don't have an upside profit target, why we don't sell a green candle. We instead wait for the stock to prove weakness because of trades like this. This is a continuation trading strategy, meaning we are buying high, looking to sell higher. I have been building codified trading systems for about 6 years now. I have found in continuation trading strategies, not having an upside target is the most profitable way to trade them throughout all my own back testing, just letting your strength run. Also, we can go over our third exit condition that I sort of forgot about when talking about this trade. But anyway, this is on ticker LIDR. Obviously got news. This is at 8 o'clock in the morning. So there's that top of the hour news spike that I'm talking about. Enters at $2.28. It never, not up and until market open, it never gets that condition in which a candle closes below the low of the previous 5 candles. So it exits at market open and makes 78%. You hold this trade for an hour and a half and made 78%. And I'm here to tell you, for those of you that have maybe never watched pre-market or after hours, even this is far from like a really crazy move. There will be times where pre-market and after hours is hot, and there will be multiple stocks a morning up 300-400%. So even this, like, oh my gosh, Trey, that's insane. I could find a crazier example. I'm sure this is just the first one I stumbled across to prove my point here. Also, let's talk about the third and probably obvious exit condition, exit at market open. Look, this is a pre-market trading strategy. We don't want to hold it all during market hours. So at 9:30, if you're still in the trade, also exit. And that is also true for after hours. At 8 o'clock, when extended hours trading halts, when after hours trading halt, should I say, also exit your position before that close. You don't want to hold it overnight, right? So either at market open or at 8 p.m., you also exit if you are still in any open positions. Remember, this strategy, along with an extended hours scanner, are both available alongside over 150 plus other custom ThinkorSwim codes on my website, daytradingstrategies.net. And listen, even if you don't want to sign up, maybe you can't afford it right now, whatever it is, that's perfectly fine. I understand. I also have a handful of free codes available on my website as well. And I mean completely free. Like, I'm not going to ask for your email to add you to a newsletter or any of that dumb stuff. Really, just go click on it. You'll be taken straight to this page. And I'll actually leverage this quickly to show you how easy it is to import the code. So every single one of the 150 plus codes on the website comes with one of these unique TOS share links. All you need to do is copy this URL. Then back within your ThinkorSwim application, you're going to go to the setup cog in the top right. From this drop down, go to open shared item, paste in that link, preview, and import. Just like that, in about 4 mouse clicks and 3 seconds, you can have any and all of the custom codes imported from my website and saved locally within your ThinkorSwim. You then turn them on the same way you would turn on any study, the same way you would turn on any strategy, etc. As I hit apply on this, you will now see the custom study running on the chart behind me here. And when I say saved locally, by the way, once you import these codes, they're yours. This is now your code. So even if you decide to unsubscribe from my website, that's fine. All these codes will still be saved locally within your ThinkorSwim account. You won't lose access to them or anything like that. Also, you can now click into this scroll icon and you will have read and edit access to these codes. It's a great way to both learn how the code works, learn how the back end of coding works, as well as to maybe come in and adjust some things if there's something that you want to change for your own personal trading goals. So head on over to daytradingstrategies.net. Once again, linked in the description down below this video. Listen, at least go take advantage of the free codes. I mean, they are just completely free. At least go do that. Maybe click and read the reviews while you're over there to help decide for yourself if this is something that could help accelerate your personal trading journey. Sign up today and become a better trader immediately.